Hello, and welcome back. It's nice to be back recording videos. I know I only probably took a 2 days off, but I'm used to posting every day, and I have recently seen that I've gone up in quite a bit in subscribers, and I appreciate that. I'm going to be bringing you a video which I think is pretty important, and what a lot of people don't understand about being in PvP. It's going to be a video on how to push, what is involved with pushing raiding, and what to expect when moving up brackets, and kind of how to keep things together and not burn out and not get disheartened, really. So I'm gonna have the rest of the Prot Warrior battle in the background because I know you guys were enthralled with it and I want to see how it ends. So we'll see if we can get to the end of it in this one in the background here. So to start with, when you're looking at, so to push, the push is the whole thing in PvP. It's all about getting your rating, getting your achievements, pushing as high as you can possibly go, and to beat other people and to be better than the people below you, and have a way of displaying that you're good at this game. That's the inherent aspect of PvP. Like, you want to show that your skills are better than somebody else's or a bunch of other people, and you want to be the best. Like, and it's difficult to do that. The best spend a lot of time playing the game. They get very, very good at certain things, and like the very things that you might have to make decisions about. The best players are doing naturally and inherently. They make a decision before you even think about that decision being made, because they've played the scenario so many times and have so many hours played that they know what to do before you even think about asking the question. So, first things first, to get better, you need a lot of practice. You need to play a lot of the same thing over and over and over again. You also need to be playing the same thing over and over and over again and playing it correctly. It's really important to have good habits and to be playing the game correctly, because it's very easy to get stuck in a bracket and just be doing the same thing over and 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 say, well, eventually we'll get better. But if you're doing the same thing, the same mistake, you're not going to get anywhere. Yeah, your other aspects of your game that are fine are going to get better, and you might see like a little creep up. You might go up like, 100 rating, but there's still going to be some inherent flaws in how you're playing that are going to be holding you back. And I see here, there's different ways that you can get around them. Like, if you're not seeing it, you can get somebody who's better to look at your replays, or play with somebody who's better than you on a casual basis. Like, maybe at the beginning of the season, you try and get with a couple of people that you've like talked to, you've messaged some people. Like, anyone's free to message me and ask me anything that they want to know about their gameplay. Like, ask me, oh, is this a good idea when I'm playing against this comp and this comp? Is this good? Or in my specific class? Because if you ask me about Arms Warrior, I know about Arms Warrior, I know about Fury Warrior, I know about most melee classes and how you should be playing them. I also know about healing classes by playing against them and with healers, and other classes by playing against and with them. Now, I won't have as much, I suppose, expert knowledge as other people will who have more experience with different classes than me, but I have a very good knowledge of how things are supposed to be done. And you can also contact individuals who are like rank 1s or really good players. Especially there's players who are very vocal in the community and will respond to you if you message them a bit, or even people who are 2400 around that area, they'll respond to you if you need help from them. It's just, you got to ask the right person, you got to ask them enough. Now, that is a really good way of finding the flaws in your play, and to effectively change them to push more. And there will be issues, and they will be difficult to overcome, and it will feel clunky, and it may feel like you're doing worse than you were. But you need to put in that effort so that it becomes easier, more natural. You need to get muscle memory going. Because it's like, for example, using certain macros. So say, for example, when I started using a Stormbolt focus control modifier. Now that may sound really daunting, so essentially what it is I have my Stormbolt. Say I bind that to Q, which is currently where my Shockwave is there. So my Stormbolt's on Q because I always have my stun on Q. And I want to put in the Stormbolt macro. So I'm just like, I'm used to pressing Q for whenever I want a Stormbolt. I go, okay, I want a focus macro, and I'm going to put in a control modifier to it. So whenever I press Q, it stuns my target. But if I press control while I'm pressing Q, it will throw it at my focus target. So I have the Resto Druid focus targeted, and I have the DK or Ret or something like that, or a caster or whatever, because I'd probably be playing Shockwave against the cleave team. But so I have, like, I'm on the lock and I know I need to stun the druid, so I'm gonna go whew, I'm gonna throw that out by just pressing control, and I don't even have to target the druid as long as he's in range. And that felt so clunky and so difficult for me to like get onto, especially with arena target macros, like target focus kicking and everything like that. They're really difficult and really awkward and really clunky to get with originally. You play 100 games with that, it's like you can't recognize your play without it. It's difficult to play without them. It's all about just like taking a bit of time, getting used to it. And yeah, it's like you've got to play a fair whack of games before you're going to get used to these things. And even if it is just like changing your key bindings around, if you've ever changed your key bindings, you know how awkward it is. It's like getting used to a new keyboard. But over time, you'll get used to it, and it'll be great. So, past that, we're going to look at more what it takes to progress. Now, there's those finding their errors, and then that's a more sort of macro thing you can do. Like you need to be doing that over the course of your time getting better, finding your flaws and getting better. As a team, when you're playing with a team of people, you need to be willing to take criticism and give out criticism, constructive criticism. You need to be able to go, okay, I think we did this wrong. I personally did this wrong. I think you could have done this better. I think you could have done this better. It's very easy as well to say bad things that other people did because it shifts the blame from you. So especially in games where there's things that have gone wrong, it's important to lead with that, okay, I did this wrong, and I also think we could do this better. And you need to do that every single game. I'm not just talking about the games that you lose, I'm talking about the games that you win. How could you have won quicker? What did you guys do that made it so you guys popped maybe a couple too many defensive cooldowns earlier in the game that you could have not done? Did you layer anything? Did you desync your burst? Did you miss a kick? Are there things that you as a team can improve on? Because as long as you still acknowledge things that your team is doing wrong and things that you can improve on, and you work towards improving that, you will get better as a team. As soon as you start being in a team where you're the only one who is willing to take criticism and also acknowledge that they're doing something wrong, that team is going to stall. And they're going to find a point where they're just going to go, whoop, this is where they are. They're not getting past this because they're not willing to get better. If they do get better, it might be because you're the only one who's maybe slightly changing the thing. You're going off and you're playing twos games to get better at your kicks. You're going off and playing twos so you can pop your defensive cooldowns better. You're getting a better understanding of how to catch on to Resto Druids because that was what you were struggling with. So you went in and you got your healer and you played twos, or you found another healer and you played twos for 300 games to get your DPS rotation better. Like, that's how you improve, and that's how you're going to be able to push. Now, that's a really important aspect of it, and finding the other things. So that's one big aspect of this video, is finding your flaws, taking the time to get better at it, improving them, fixing them, and all that stuff. That's very important, and it's going to take time, and that needs to be acknowledged. It's like wiping on a raid boss. It's going to happen more and more times until all the kinks are ironed out. For PvP, it takes longer and it's harder. another huge aspect of it is the actual push, and knowing that as long as your win ratio is over 50%, you are going to be gaining rating. Now, this may mean that it's going to take you 3 weeks to get 100 rating because you're only winning one more game than you lose every single week. Like, sure, but you're still progressing and you're still getting better. You haven't stagnated, you're still moving forwards. And that's important to know. Anything over 50%, you're still going up. You could get rank 1 with a win rate of 51%, but you just played thousands of games. That could happen as long as you kept your win rate over 50%. Now, that being said, it's all about sticking with it. And as I said before, developing yourself. Really important aspect of that. You can burn out, especially if people are being negative. If you're being negative, you're having a bad queue session. And this leads into my third and final point, really. Know when to stop queuing. If you're playing and your team is queuing up against countercomp after countercomp after countercomp, people are starting to get tilted, everyone's getting angry at each other, you've lost 3 games in a row, you say, okay, next time we lose or we lose 2 more in a row, let's stop and we'll pick this up tomorrow. You're better off stopping after 5 losses or 3 losses and saying, you know what, I don't think tonight's the night to push. Let's pick it up tomorrow, and everyone else maybe you go do a Mythic Plus, or you go do some BGs, or maybe you go, hey, let's just go into some easy RPGs, practice our stuff, just play some PvP, enjoy it, have some fun, go play a different game or something like that, blow off some steam, come back to it with a fresh mind. Maybe you queue up against you're countering a whole bunch of comps, and you go on this fat streak of 25 wins, and you gain like 250 rating. It's really important in that aspect to know when to stop, because there's prime times, there's times where huge amounts of teams are queuing, which inflates the MMR, so you're queuing up against a bunch of people who don't exactly fit the MMR that they have, so that you get free wins, or you end up just playing against 3 teams that have your number. They know how to counter your comp. Why would you keep playing? No one would keep playing. Any of the high-rated teams who want to get like rank 1 or something like that, if they're queuing against counter comps that beat them, they're going to stop. That's when you know, okay, let's quit. You don't eventually start just beating a counter comp that already has you beaten, unless you somehow find out a way to beat them after 20 games, and then, you're going to put them on farm, because they're going to just stop queuing after 3 losses. They won't queue into you the same amount as you'll queue into them. So it's really important to know when to stop. And that's how you avoid burning out and getting really frustrated with the game and just not wanting to play. I've had times, definitely, where I've gone, I just don't want to play this anymore. I've had times where I've stopped playing altogether because like my teams have stopped queuing because we queued too much and things like that. And if anything, I've learned that it's just like you need to know when to just stop. And because as soon as people start getting angry at each other and start snipping away and like blaming each other and things like that, that's when your team starts to fall apart, and that's when you stop having fun with the game. And in the end, that's the most important thing, is to have fun with it. And with the end of the prot battle, with the winner being the Tauren, I'm going to end this video. And I hope that was helpful for you. And any questions that you need me to clarify with this video, hit me up on Twitter, comment on the videos, and make sure to tune into my live stream whenever I'm streaming WoW, or any other game really. Ask me any questions about WoW, I will answer them, even if I'm playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I tend to do a lot. Hit me up with WoW questions, I'll go into a detailed response with it for sure. I hope this was great, and it's good to be back, and I hope you all had a great weekend. See you next time. Peace. Hello there, and thanks for watching my video. Make sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and like if you liked it, dislike if you don't. Please comment to let me know what you want to see in the future, and make sure to come tune in and watch me on Twitch. I'm live from 12 a.m. or 12 midnight GMT for normally about 6 hours playing a whole bunch of games. Hopefully, I'll see you there.